Hi guys and welcome back. We're live at the baby show in Olympia and we have the lovely Remi.
Hello.
Hello from Books, Baby and Beyond.
Back.
Yes. Sorry, my mistake.
I wish it was Beyond. When I started it, I didn't have any hope for my life. So I was looking retrospectively, not forwards.
No.
But yeah, it would have been a good one.
No, I think I'm getting that confused with like Bed Bath and Beyond, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it's a better name. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having
me. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So we met like about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, really recently.
Yeah, at Central London Mothers Meetings. And I was just kind of going to get an idea of what they do and stuff. And you were one of the talkers.
Have you never been to one before?
No, it was my first one.
Really?
And I absolutely loved it. Wow. You've been going quite a few. You've been.
Yeah, I've been a while. I've been going since my daughter was 4 months old, and now she's. Oh, let me think about this in parent words. She's 23 months.
All right.
My friends that have kids, so I'm just like, she's 1, and she'll be 2 next month. But
yeah.
She's 20-something months anyway. And so I've been going since she was 4 months old. So
that's
a while.
Incredible. Yeah. Is that the first time you spoke at one of those?
Yeah. My career's changed a lot recently, so now I do things like this. And I talk to people. But I'm a writer by trade, and that is kind of always been my main focus, but I'm branching out and I'm enjoying it, and I just say wild and crazy things and what everybody else is thinking, so I guess my writing is good, but it's not like the best insight into like me as a person. It's like one dimension of me, but it's not very humorous, and I am, but my writing's like quite serious. So
because for guys that might not know what you do and your kind of blogging platform, like how did it come about? I know about this, but like, how did like the whole thing come about?
You did your research.
Do you want me to tell you? Like,
I basically had my. Okay, let me just start from like the beginning. I'm going to make it as quick as possible. I got pregnant in my undergraduate uni.
Right.
And when I got pregnant, I didn't know many girls who were my age, because I was 21 when I got pregnant, who were in uni. No, I was 22 when I got pregnant. So pregnant in uni and having a baby and figuring it out. And I'd been pregnant before when I was 17, and I terminated that pregnancy, so I knew if I got pregnant again I would continue it. But it was still really scary, and so as a result I decided to document it. And I was in a relationship at the time. I'd been with my ex-partner for like 3.5 years at that point, and 4 years. And so I just was like, I'm going to see what it's like to just wing it as a mum. And then my life changed a lot really quickly. Obviously, I had a baby. I got PND. That was like grim, so dark. And my baby daddy left me. So basically, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm a single parent and this is really difficult, and like I don't know what to do. And I'd been writing anyway, but I hid the fact that I was single for age, also because we separated but lived together for a bit, so I didn't physically feel like a single parent, and then the physical separation, like how we separated. And so then I wrote about that, and then I wrote an open love letter to myself about being single. So that was like really just because it was like I never wanted to be a single mum. That was my biggest fear when I got pregnant, was that I'd be a single mum, and I thought it would be just the worst thing ever. And then I became a single mum, and I blossomed and I flourished, and like
this whole new world came about.
Everything got better, and I started writing more, and I started podcasting and doing like engagements and events, and found my sexy as well. Like it's just like it's like a whole new version of my motherhood, womanhood and self.
And I can imagine actually as well, because like going through that university kind of process, it's almost like this is what you do, this is what you're meant to do. You do your university degree, then you go out and you get a job, and then you meet a nice man, you get married, you have kids, and that's the idea. But when something like that comes, and it's like a bit of a curveball, and you have to stand back, and it must have been terrifying.
Yeah, it was. And I'd never lived with a man, so I grew up in a single parent home, so I've never lived with a man ever. And I was 4 months pregnant, and then it was me and him and my flat, and it was just so like alien to me. And then the baby came, and it was 3 to 1 bedroom, and I was like, oh my God. I've never lived like this with anybody ever. And so it was
all of a sudden it's a very crowded flat.
Exactly. And then you like throw in like the 4th trimester and being like just the postnatal period, and the fact that anybody who moves in with a partner at any point in a relationship knows it changes things. And
it does.
I was 22 when doing that, so just being so young and having life experience but not that much, and then becoming a parent and then realizing that actually this is real life now, this is really something different. It was intense, but I feel like my writing saved me in a weird way. I know that sounds so cliche.
But I like that though, because it's powerful. Even if it's like, even if you just wrote it for yourself, it's a way of kind of digesting what you're going through. And kind of formalising it, especially if you were going through like PND as well. That must have been loads of stuff.
It was so crazy.
Horrible.
I mean, like, obviously I'm black, and so culturally, culturally we don't have the same openness surrounding mental health as
that's interesting.
Other cultures do, and we experience it like everybody else does, but we just don't talk about it like that. So I had like AND, which is antenatal depression. When I was pregnant, I was depressed because I thought my life was going to be over. And I obviously didn't go to a doctor about it. I briefly mentioned it in passing to my ex, and that was about it. And then when she was born, my depression just got worse and worse and worse. But it took me about 7 months to go to the doctor. And I downplayed it. I was like, sometimes I just feel a bit sad, like it's baby blues, but I'm fine. But obviously, baby blues are like 2 weeks, and she's 7 months old. So it wasn't baby blues. And she was like, okay, don't worry, like, we can offer you medication or therapy. And that was really the conversation. And what I was actually feeling was despair. I thought my life was falling apart. I thought I didn't know what I was doing. I thought my kid was the only good thing. I thought my kid was the only good thing in the world, my life, the universe, everything. And that kind of bleakness was constant. But I wrote through it, and I parented her through it, and that kind of gave me a bit of like something to wake up for. But it was and it shocked me. Like, because the night I got pregnant, I was like partying. So that was my life up until pregnancy. I was like every other 20-something-year-old, no cares in the world, very irresponsible, living their best damn life. And then I was pregnant, and I was like, oh, okay.
Everything I know.
This is serious.
Everything, I've been Remi up until this point, and now I have to like.
I literally overnight, when I gave birth, I went from being Remi to being mum. And I was like, I can do mum, like, and I was so scared of being a bad mum that I was like an amazing mum, but I had no sense of myself. I just lost myself, and that lasted until I became single, and then something in my brain just switched, and I was just like, no, if I'm gonna be a single parent, if I'm going to like walk this path and live this life, then I want to teach my daughter how to be proud of who she is and happy in her life. So that was super important to me.
It's amazing. It's so funny, actually. I think every woman at any stage in their life have those moments, and sometimes they do actually come after like a breakup. Your planets align, and you go, right, I'm literally not going to apologise for being me, and I'm going to actually just go about.
And it's also because my daughter essentially became the only other member in my family. Do you know what I mean? So when there's only 2 people in your family, and one of them is like, yay, hi, I can't really do much except for like play with her toys. It does make you, it like sobers you up a bit. It makes you sit up, wake up, smell the coffee, and think, okay, so what's the plan? Because everything now rests on your shoulders. And she's amazing. I would never want to jack up her life because I couldn't be bothered to like try. Do you know what I mean? It's basically it. it's basically Remi. So you've been kind of like curating like your Instagram and your blogger like page and your writing and everything like that. Like, is that something that is now kind of taking a lot of precedence for you? I love that you said curating. I don't know what the flip I'm doing, like, at all.
Yes, you do.
I don't. I'm going to be honest with you, right? So when I set up my blog, this was before I decided I was a writer. When I came into like the parenting industry, I just wanted to give perspective to somebody in my position. That was it. And I was like, I'm going to do 10 posts, we'll see what happens. And so I just got like a free WordPress thing. I chose my favorite color. It wasn't at all professional, but I knew my writing was good, but I did know. So I was like, I'm just going to let the work speak for itself. And my favorite musician is Adele, and she always says I make music for the soul, not for the eyes.
Yeah.
And for the I make it for the ears. And my thing is I write for the soul, so it doesn't matter what the aesthetics are. Having said that, now my website looks quite nice.
Yeah.
But initially I was just like, I don't care what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And it lasted a year.
Yeah.
I did more than 10 pieces, and they grew, and I decided that I was a writer, not just a mum blogger, because for me personally, I really respect what mum bloggers do, and I think they're amazing, and I have loads of friends who are mum bloggers because of the industry we're in. But the big difference between a blogger and a writer, I feel like, is time.
Right.
And I can't write on a time deadline. I'm really bad at it.
Right.
I've tried it. I had big dreams and hopes. When I realized I could do it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this and that and that, and I'm not really good at it. And also I'm not very good at endorsing things. Like, I can only work with a brand or a company that I truly believe in and would use and benefit from.
And actually, you are using it's in your life.
Exactly.
Like, this is it, yeah.
So other than that, I don't really.
It's kind of just taken itself, and it's kind of just grown into what it needs to be.
I don't really have the formula like that, and that's what I was going to say. Most parent bloggers have a system, a really good system. Yeah. I just like what I like, and I mean, it's quite disorganized. I did upgrade my website because I liked my writing, and I was like, oh, if I'm going to keep doing it, I might as well invest in making it look a little bit
and actually
better.
present it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also because people find me for things like today. Yeah. But it's all started from my writing, so I feel like that's like my second child. I have to nurture it and encourage it to blossom. And then my Instagram is a mess. It's a hot damn mess. You're so kind. It is a hot damn mess. I don't even post in a way that I know I should probably use it more. I just use it as and when, and I use it mainly to talk about the work I'm doing or something I'm really passionate about. Yeah. But yeah, it's a mess.
I think that's important though. You don't want to just do it, like you say, you write about stuff, and it's about things that mean something to you, and your Instagram reflects that. Yeah, definitely. I think everything in the past 6 months I've become really conscious of not using it for using its sake. No, and I think that's important.
Yeah, so for me it's like, it's work, or it's like, even when it's my daughter, it's like there's a point and a message, or sometimes it's just because she's cute, but most of the time it's like there's a thing. Yeah. And I started a podcast, and so I use it for that as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, so how long has the podcast been going for? And also, what is it called for the guys that may not be aware?
My podcast is called All Right for a Mum. Yeah. And I co-host it with a lovely girl called Carrie Ann, and it was actually her concept. She's a single parent, and I met her when I was in a relationship and she was single. And I was working on a project separately, and she was going to come on, and we just never ended up doing it. Yeah. But we remained really good friends, and obviously she was one of the first calls that I made when I was like, oh, this is really hard. Yeah. And I wasn't ready to talk about it publicly, and she respected my privacy. She is a clothes designer of Mama Merch. She is, yeah. And so I was a customer of hers, and we'd met before, and then we became friends, and then I was a single parent, and then we used to have all sorts of conversations, and I'm quite crass sometimes, and so when certain things were happening, I was just like, this is, oh my gosh, and how come people don't know? And I'm quite blunt as well. Yeah. And she gets my humour and I get hers, and she's equally as bad as I am. And I said to her one day, I think it was around maybe April times, we were having a conversation. I was getting ready to go out somewhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a MILF. And she was like, yeah, we are MILFs, aren't we? And we were talking about it, and then she was like, do you think other people feel like this? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, because we'd always spoken about doing it, so I said, when we do the podcast, we should talk about getting your sexy back and how that feels and stuff. So from there, we just kind of started recording, and it just snowballed. Yeah, it became All Right for a Mum as it is now. And so we do various topics. We talk about single parenting, but we're not the stereotypical single mums, and I would describe us as millennial mums with a bit of milk on the side. I
think that is an amazing strapline, by the way. You need to really push that. Millennial mums with a bit of milk on the side.
I would say that's what we're like. And obviously we're still parents though, so as much as we are millennials, it's
exactly
the wildest difference.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I think what would be your advice? Okay, so if there was someone that may relate to your story, like how, like, being young, mum, single, that kind of thing, or or even thinking like, look, I've got something inside me and I want to talk about it. Like, what advice would you give to someone that was in that stage?
Okay, so let me separate them. To somebody who doesn't have a baby, you have so much time on your hands to be sure of what you want to do, and then kind of go for it. I set up my business like off my phone.
Exactly.
I just set it up off my phone. I got a free template and I just did it.
Yeah.
And I definitely believe that when you just want to do something, you'll get it done. Because I didn't have much self-belief in myself at that time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had PND, so my world in my head was falling apart.
Yeah.
But in the height of all of that, I managed to launch a pretty successful blog and write and sustain it as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you don't have kids, just do it. Just do it and just go for it. And be nice and network. Those are my two other tips.
Well, that's how we met. It's from conversations. Do you know what I mean?
Be nice and network.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's no real reason, like, how we would have met. But I love it's from that community.
Yeah, and it's really organic.
Together.
Yeah. And I think also being nice helps because you never know who you're speaking to. You never know what could come of it. When I met my co-host, we just met. And it was a random meeting, and that was it. Yeah. But she was nice to me, and I was nice to her, and now we're business partners in something that is
and really good mates.
Cool. Yeah. And really good friends, and our kids like each other and FaceTime, and it's all really sweet, and like we're like a really far apart family because she lives like up north somewhere near Chester, or in Chester, I think, and I'm in London, so we make it work basically. Yeah. And networking is really helpful and really powerful.
It really is, and I think especially within this industry, it is all women together. It's like we can be our best friends, but we can be our own enemies. Yeah. Like, women are weird; they can sometimes hate on other women.
Stay
out
of other people's business. That helps. Yeah. Don't get involved. If you hear something, be quiet. Focus on what you want, and then also I would say definitely if it was somebody who's a mum, right? Yeah. I would say think about how feasible it is. Unfortunately, sometimes when you're a parent, you have to put your own stuff on hold because you have a child, and that's realistic. And I'm the queen of being realistic. So you have to figure out what is you want to do. Yeah. And then make a timeline and figure out an end goal and what you want out of it. And I'm not an organized person, so I'm saying things that I do that are quite simple. Yeah. Literally write down in a year's time what you want, or in 6 months what you want, and why you want it. And if you feel uncomfortable saying it out loud, then it's probably not the right reasons.
Exactly.
If you believe
You've got to stand behind it. Yeah.
If you can say it bravely and boldly, then it's probably going to be fine. And make your presence known online as well, if you can. Yeah. And that doesn't mean you have to have 10,000 followers, because I've only got like 3. So, and I started with like 200. Yeah. But just make the right type of friends. And ask questions, that's another thing. Get information. Don't be afraid to, like I said, don't be afraid to be direct. If you want something from somebody, tell them what you want. And just be like, I have nothing to offer you if you have nothing to offer them. But just be transparent across the board.
So agree.
It's been so helpful for me. My whole everything has been built, the past, I'd say 18 months of my career have been built off transparency. Yeah. Because I have not much to offer except my work.
But also, it just wastes time. Yeah. And I think if you are a parent, that's the one thing that you are going to struggle with. And you're like, let's just get to it,
And you have to be willing to sacrifice sleep. Like most parents, new parents do. But after my daughter goes to bed, that's when I do most of my work. That's when I reply.
I think it's it as well. It's just like knowing the time you have and using, if it's 10 minutes. Then okay, well, you've got 10 minutes, but that's cool. Like you say, you write your own timeline. Yeah,
exactly.
Go, like, walk to the beat of your own drum, sort of thing. Like, and don't, and put yourself under undue pressure about it.
I know it sounds weird, but like, your competition isn't your competition until they're your competition. So if you, let's say you want to launch a bag company and you're thinking like Louis V is eventually going to be your competition. I get it, but you're not on that level yet. Yeah. So learn from them until you're on that level, and then like share your resources and share the conversations, and like it's good practice going forward. And when you're seen to be transparent and respectful, people will kind of help you or give you advice, even if you don't ask for it, or teach you something that you never even thought you needed to know, but could change the game for you. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's amazing.
That's my advice.
Yeah, that's my advice. Remi, thank you so much for coming in and having a chat with me.
Thank
so
you
nice
for
to see you
having me.
again.
I know.
What a weird second meeting though. Like,
I know.
Straight in front of a camera. It's amazing.
I was too poor to come to this when I was pregnant, so this is cool. Like, I'm vicariously living through all the other pregnant ladies here.
Yeah.
It is super, super cool. And also, that is like a showroom. Like,
Oh,
I'm pointing
stands?
pointing at like the pushchairs, but it's actually like a showroom. And I didn't know you guys made high chairs.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We'll show you around, because also you've got the raspberry for your
Yes,
as well.
I just got the raspberry. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And it is so nifty. And I live in inner city London, so it's like...
And they're like second
stands
floor.
Up, yeah, second floor. It gets up and down the stairs with one hand, and it opens and closes really quickly. I had a bit of like trouble assembling it, but I watched some YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this is so simple. And I was doing more, because I used to have different pushchairs before and they were a lot more complicated.
Right.
So I was trying to do more than what needed to be done to like...
It's almost sometimes complicated in its simplicity.
Yeah, but it's super simple, and it's like, for the size, I just expected it to be really difficult, but it's not. It's amazing.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we'll take you through it and kind of show you everything, and our my chair as well.
Thank you.
But thank you so much, my darling.
Thank you.
Guys, coming up later this afternoon, we've got more fabulous content, but thank you so much, Remi.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.